Thank you, you group from Emory University. Now last few years, see this kind of the practice. So we have some special relations. Your university really very, very helpful, very helpful. What you, how many days already passed? Gray? How many?
We are back on the 17th. We came back here on the 17th.
17th, huh? May. What kind of you learned? Or some discussions? What? Kajore.
So far.
What sort of serious or was it a discussion or learning? What subject? Oh, nothing. Just a gossip.
We've been meditating every morning.
Oh, that's good. But meditation, you see, just close eyes or remain like this. I think pigeon also have that kind of experience. And the rabbit also. There is no immediate danger. They also remain like that. So sometimes in the West, some my friend, say they showing interest about meditation. So then, say many occasions I explained meditation. There should be two kinds of meditation. One meditation is single-pointed meditation. It's good. Is when your mind is too much disturbed, then a short moment, nothing, not thinking these things, some kind of thoughtlessness. It's good. But long run, real effect come from analytical meditation. Analyze. You say, firstly you yourself. Then now, for example, the present world. So many problems, so many killing, and starvations, and corruptions. Then analyze what the causes. Immediate cause, long-term cause. Whether we can do something, through sort of minimize these causes, and then these problems, killing, these automatically reduce. Immediate method, you see, various concerned government is making effort. Now, for example, the Syria problem, some concerned government, you see, especially United States, I think really, seriously, should try to bring peace. This morning, I heard through BBC, the other side, the opposition party's main person resigned. The reason is the other side, their response, not very kasota, educate, or like that. So there's some kind of ceasefire, and then some serious discussion, try to find political solution. Otherwise, killing each other. At least I think 4 or 5 years already passed. And then, if this situation go continuously, those real troublemakers, they can go like this. But poor people, many of them, and children, women, old people. So like that, you see, the analytical meditation means analyze all these not only next life or nirvana or these things, but today's the problem. Analyze what's so. And then, particularly the Nalanda tradition, the Sanskrit tradition. These paintings, I usually describe the professors of Nalanda institution. This, I think, first century, second century, third century, I think at least a few centuries. Was in Nalanda, I think they, because of the most famous sort of the learning center, in India. Firstly, I think Takshashila, then Nalanda, then Brigamarashila. So, it seems to me, it's a Nalanda tradition or Sanskrit tradition, not only just is a Buddhist teaching, but also you see there are a lot of sort of philosophical views, and also you see science of mind. These are very, very rich. So these, you see, should consider academic subject and subject which related to today's world. A lot of material development there. With that, modern science also highly developed. But it is still, we are lacking certain sort of method or certain knowledge about method of inner peace. Usually, you see, people get the impression when we talk about inner peace, then faith, religion. Yes, no question. But mainly use our analytical meditation, analyze, as I mentioned earlier. Through that way, firstly, I think our intelligence can be more effective. Too much emotion, then our intelligence, you see, cannot fully function. Too much destructive emotion, whenever destructive emotion develop, then your view become biased. And through that way, you can't see the reality. Then all your effort become unrealistic. So, calm mind is very essential. In order to develop that, more fuller knowledge about system of emotion, system of mind, and the reality, more holistic way. So this, I think, come from Nalanda tradition. I always telling my Indian friend, historically, Indians were our guru, our teacher, not modern Indian. Modern Indian, too much westernized. If may I say so. So now, knowledge about these ancient Indian sort of say, very rich knowledge. Now we, as a student of Nalanda tradition, we kept alive. Teacher neglected about these things, now forget. Now fortunately, now more and more Indian really showing interest about ancient Indian knowledge, which we kept. I really now feel, later part of my life, I see now more and more Indian, all these ancient Indian treasures, now more and more people showing interest. So you are truly owner of these things. So therefore, in any way, the analytical meditation is something very, very important. And then, as far as Nalanda tradition, Buddhism, Nalanda tradition is concerned, use human intelligence maximum way, through that way transform our emotion. Not through prayer, not through just meditation of thoughtlessness, not that way. Analyze, particularly the concept of shunyata. My personal sort of favorite subject, shunyata. Oh, I think since my age 15, 16, I developed genuine interest about shunyata. So now over 60 years, I really, thinking or analyze and some meditation. Oh, very, very helpful. It's a destructive emotion such as anger, attachment. This concept really very, very helpful. One Indian scientist, one American scientist who I think at least last is a few decades, I think some of you may know the Kasakong scientist. Aaron Beck. You see, I met, I think at least two occasions. The first occasion, see, he mentioned me that when people develop anger, the object which we feel, which that person feel angry, appears something very negative. But actually, 90% of that negativeness is mental projection. This is exactly Nagarjuna mentioned that. So, that exaggeration or mental projection is very much based on the grasping as appears something independent, absolute. The reality, not that. So mental projection is related here. Me personally also, you see that concept is really very, very helpful. Very helpful. So that's very good. Every morning, some meditation. And if too early morning, then half sleep, half meditation. Sometimes me too. You see, in early morning, about 2:30, I usually get up. So sometimes, meditation. Then, when I look clock, many minutes passed. So that means mixed with sleep. Yes. Now, any questions? Oh, okay.
Tashi Dalek, Your
Holiness. Sit. No need formality. No.
Your Holiness, my name is Cassidy. It is such an honor for us to be here, to have this session with our distinguished professor. For us, this is a very special opportunity to see you in person for the first time. I have been able to learn about your life and to see you on video. One of the many qualities that truly inspires me is your sense of humor. Given the many challenges...
This is not only my sort of quality or something. I think Tibetan, generally, I think very jovial. Like my one elder brother, too much serious. But otherwise, you see, the eldest brother, now no longer, and then another is brother, that also is no longer, and then a younger brother, and one's elder sister, no long, younger sister, still there. So we always talking, joke, always teasing like that. So that's, I think, generally speaking, I think Tibetan, I think jovial, like that. So in any way, yes.
Given the many challenges that you and the Tibetan people have faced in exile, I was curious to know where this sense of humor and infectious laughter comes from. how do you think humor impacts your relationship with others? Thank you.
I think firstly, my own sort of experience, when I met people, I always consider we are same human being. I never consider I am something special. If I too much sort of emphasis, I'm Buddhist, I'm Tibetan, and particularly I'm Dalai Lama, then mentally, emotionally, some kind of distance. When I consider myself another human being, we are same. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. Then immediately, so I can act like long-time old friend, like that. So sometimes too much formality, not good. So one sort of strange experience, one occasion in New Delhi, one interfaith meeting, a number of sort of the Hindu or spiritual leaders, and I think one Shankaracharya also is there. So the Shankaracharya, you see, acting like a statue. So then I just next to him, one chair, and then many people there. Then Shankaracharya's sort of seat, although quite high, but still not enough. It should be higher. So under the
Legs.
Legs of the chair, some bricks is put there. Then on that, you see Shankaracharya, you see, no word, no kasota, no word, and not much moving. Always remain like this. So then, my mind quite kasota, quite bad. So I felt, you see, oh, if I wish, you see, the one brick topple, then you see, the Shankaracharya have to act as a human being. Otherwise, he remain like this. So that also is one factor. You see, consider another human being, and that automatically, you see, with sense of also the social, we are social animal. 7 billion human beings are actually human brothers, sisters. I feel, you see, I am fully convinced, and also I feel very, very important. We really need sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. Then a lot of problems which we are facing, I think, automatically reduce. So that, I think, a lot of problems which we are facing, including killing and starvation and corruptions, many of these problems, you see, actually, you see, based on secondary level of differences, different religious faith, different nationality, different system, or even within same faith, same nationality, rich and poor, or influential, uninfluential, like that. So we too much sort of categorize different things, and then too much emphasis is on that level. Then the concept of we and they become stronger. So all these problems can reduce if we emphasize 7 billion human beings are same. We share now global economy or the environment issue, all these. We say now 7 billion human beings. We all, you see, share, it's the same thing. Then, as I mentioned earlier, economic condition, now East depend on West, West depend on East, similarly South and North. That's the reality. So then, if we have strong feeling we are the same human being, then automatically you see develop sense of respect, others' right, others' well-being. If that's sufficient, then no room to kill, bully, or like that, or cheating. So these thinking. And then, as a Buddhist monk, as I mentioned earlier, you see, concept of relative, everything interconnected. So that concept also is very, very helpful for me. And then altruism. For altruism, I really feel, recently I was in Mayo Hospital there, a few weeks. The house where I live is quite peaceful. So they are big, quite big. Lawn, and some forest. Some deers, very beautiful deers. They almost is in the morning. I think they somewhere. I think they slept and come, and then afternoon they return. And I look these animals, beautiful animal. They also have the same desire to be happy and no disturbances. They also have the right. So as a Buddhist monk, Buddhist practitioner, we always pray for entire sentient being, these animals also including. But then there are animals I cannot do much, except some sort of some dogs chasing, and I can help something. Otherwise, nothing, because no intelligence. Only prayer. So, thinking that line, then infinite universal, universe. We cannot do anything directly or indirectly, except prayer. Prayer, not much of effect. So then only this planet. Within this planet, limitless different sort of animals, birds, insects, infinite, and fish, infinite. But I cannot do anything. Only human being. 7 billion human beings. We have this human brain. We can communicate. You see, we can share our different experiences. So then thinking these lines, then I committed, or I dedicated my body, speech, mind, dedicated for well-being of 7 billion human beings. Directly. Indirectly, infinite sentient being. So whenever I meet people, I always say, try to share warm-heartedness, irrespective whether believer or non-believer, and believe in this religion or that religion, and that's private business. But warm-heartedness is common for 7 billion human beings, even animal. But for animal, you see, no intelligence, so you cannot use intelligence to strengthening human warm-heartedness. Only we human beings, we can do. So religion, all major world tradition, same message of love, compassion. But now today, out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion non-believer. That's fact. Some newspaper is mentioned in America, among the younger generation, is believe God or religion now less and less, isn't it? I saw one newspaper. So in Europe also, I think as well. So now we need a secular way to educate the importance of warm-heartedness. Firstly, warm-heartedness bring inner peace. Inner peace bring your health better. Now these are scientists now say. They already sort of kasoda. Scientific data just mentioned that. And then obviously one individual more calm mind, peaceful, and then family get immense benefit. Then through that way, community. And through that way, eventually, 7 billion human beings, through education, can be more compassionate humanity. Some individual troublemaker always remain. But basically, it's through education. It's more awareness about warm-heartedness. It's actually immediate benefit because of the immediately benefit to one's own health, and like that way. So through that way, you see, we can educate people about this value of inner warm-heartedness, like that. So that now we fully committed, and with the help of Emory University, now we already produce draft some curriculum which can be fit in secular education field, like that. So you also, firstly, as a human brothers, sisters, we are social animal. So one individual's thinking, one individual's sort of behavior also uses some effect, at least your own circle area. And through that way, and particularly America, I think leading nation of free world. This is free world, I think free, there could be, you see, 2 levels. I think one level of freedom is, you see, you have sort of freedom of expression, freedom of individual creativity, all these things. Another way, another level, freedom means, you see, our destructive emotion sometimes is dominant our mind. I think we should try to free from dominance of these negative emotion. That only analytical meditation. Yes, if I remain almost slave of these destructive emotions such as anger, such as fear, hatred, what benefit? Other hand, more calm mind. Now these days, BBC, you see, mentioned global citizen. Global citizen. I think wonderful. One's own nation, very important, but basically we are same human being, or human being of this planet, so global citizen. You see that? Actually, in 1973, my first visit to Europe, so I start to talk because of the global sense of global responsibility, right? Global responsibility. So actually, when I saw, you said that, I mean, BBC, because of the broadcasting, is mentioned in some of the European countries among the younger generation, because of the more and more people saying they consider as a global citizen. I think America, what kind of sort of feeling? This concept, global citizen, is it coming or not? Only America. So America, I think, leading nation of free world. That's no question. So therefore, I think even China, politically, is considered almost as America is a number one enemy. But the public level, you see, their lifestyle or food habit, all these, you see, number of Chinese is following American style. So in technology, America, you see, really, you see, create a lot of sort of innovation. So now education field, and also you see the training of mind in this field, I think you American, you see, can make some contribution, I feel. Like that. So these are, when you see some problems that happen, I always look from wider perspective. And then that problem, very bad. But you see, there are many positive things there. So when you see, or when you look those positive things, then that negative, tragic situation is something part of that. If you look only that tragic situation, only tragedy, then it appears unbearable. So whenever you see something happen, sad, anger, fear, then look from wider perspective. That's very, very helpful, very useful. Like that. And then, another question?
Hello, my name is Jeffrey. As young college students today, we are trying so hard to try to make ourselves better people and make a difference in this world. As I've learned about your life, I was really struck by how, at such a young age, you had to assume the enormous responsibility of a whole nation in crisis. Would you kindly share what inner tools you relied upon to navigate such challenging times that allowed you to become such an inspiring world leader?
Since my childhood, I always see Kasoda related with people easily, including sweepers. So when the crisis happened, 1949, then actual sort of crisis, 1950, 51. I always, and then I think 51, I took the responsibility, temporary responsibility. Then I always ask the people, including sweeper, now such sort of serious situation, what do you think, how to handle these things? What is the best? So then, see, I feel, you see, even the sweepers, uneducated, very innocent people, sometimes they also, you see, give some good ideas. And then, of course, among the officials, I always ask their opinion, including my tutor, like that. And then, now one secret thing is, you see, we are, so according to Buddhist tradition, you see, not only we human beings, but there are different forms of life. And that also, you see, there are many different levels. So, including state oracle, and some other way to investigate, almost like seeking advice from these mysterious levels through certain sort of method. So, right from the beginning, I do that. Whenever I find a little bit of dilemma, firstly, discuss among human brothers, sisters. Then still there is some sort of dilemma. Then sometimes you see state oracles. Then finally, you see some higher level, mysterious ways to investigation. Then I follow. For example, in 1951, I sort of left Lhasa and then Indian border, spent few months, then again returned. Then 54, went to China. 56, come to India, and particularly 56, I already in India. So many of my sort of advisor or officials, including my two brothers, they very much insist, now I should take that opportunity, now should remain in India, should not return. But then, finally, I carry mysterious way to investigate. The indication was I should return. Then I decided return. Then 57, that's early, I think January, February, 57, I returned. The situation had become worse and worse. Then 58, I carried my final examination. Although the way I studied when I was young, I was very, very a lazy student. I have not much interest about study. So my tutor have to sort of have to show threat. Because weep. So at that time, my elder brother, immediate elder brother, he was a monk, so we together study. So my tutor kept two whips, one ordinary whip, one yellow whip. Yellow whip for holy student, that's Dalai Lama. So that yellow whip suppose holy whip. But I know if holy whip use, no differences of holy pain. So out of my fear, so I carry sometimes more serious, like that way. But in any way, my brain is quite sharp. So I can learn easily. So usually you see people who have very good sort of sharp mind. Sharp mind usually you see combined with a little bit lazy. Less sharpness of mind, then more sort of effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm quite sharp mind from childhood. So in any way, the 1958 and then 59, the final my examination. So then, all of a sudden, 1959, March 17th, I decided, left. So now think, 56, remaining in India, it's become better, or return, make every effort to fail. Then 59, escaped. I think that's much meaningful to her. Pandit Nehru also advised me better to return. So finally, I also carry some mysterious way investigation. Then the indication was Pandit Nehru's advice is right one. So I should return, like that. So therefore, these things, my certain way is to carry my decisions or my work. So then, no regret. I investigate, discuss, then finally, still some dilemma, and through that way, decide. Then no regret. Like that. Yes, for your question. My question, your question, answer for your question.
Yes.
That's my way to that. Good job. Now next question.
Your Holiness, my name is Katerina. In this age of technology, our generation is bombarded by electronic devices that contribute to many distractions and stressors.
로 가셔서
주시에 정도
가.
Oh,
yes, yes.
As simplicity is highly valued in the Buddhist tradition, would you kindly advise us on how we can simplify our lives while still pursuing our goals of excellence? Thank you.
That also, I think, your sort of attitude, attitude. If you just sort of carry some pleasure or some satisfaction on sensorial level, then sports, musics, and so certain certain material things which gives you more satisfaction on sensorial level. Mental level, no. Mental level, satisfaction, I think much depend on your mental attitude. I think, generally speaking, I think West or materialistic world, you eventually create a culture, materialistic way of life. Now India also now getting that way, isn't it? So now in the West, number of my friend, number of scientists and educationists, and actually now we are seeing, you see, like in America, you see killing or shooting, even if the young students, like that, and a lot of drugs, problem drugs, all these, because see, mentally, not yet find some kind of method to bring inner peace. So too much relying on external things and drugs, all these. So that also is, we can't blame society or even leaders. They come from a society where materialistic life, materialistic culture. And I think ultimately the education, existing education, very much oriented about material value, not talking about inner value. So therefore, for example, you see some practitioner, including my tutor, now no longer. When my tutor visited Europe and Lingnan and also visited America, after you see they return, you see, so they sort of, because of the normal way, the material sort of values. But conclusion, you see, take my tutor, all things impermanent, material value is just give us physical comfort, not mental comfort. So when, you see, my tutor, you see, returned, told me, oh, wonderful, in Switzerland, or in America, or Canada, this area, wonderful. But when he saw, you see, all these material sort of values, then he gets some kind of kare. That's it, nimbu medachi. Kasure. Essenceless. So it depends, person who have some sort of experience, some knowledge, and then look these things. Yes, they use these things, but not too much relying on these things. And not such attitude, or this material value is the ultimate source of happy life. No. The happiness, joyfulness ultimately depend on one's own mental attitude. That depend on our outlook, these things. Like that. So I think now among my friend, somehow, I think billionaire, very rich, but a very unhappy person. When we met, at the beginning, there's some nice words exchanged that way. Then, eventually, they also, some of them used to express to me, they're in deep insight, too much worry, too much sense of
Unsettledness.
something. So it just clearly shows I think too much relying in order to achieve happy life on material value and totally relying on sensorial experiences. Irrespective whether believer or non-believer, we have this unique brain. This must utilize. Sensorial experience, same with animal. Sometimes the animal eyes seeing more longer distance. And like elephant nose, they can smell, I think at least 2 miles away, something. And I think the small animals, I think their ear can hear some I think from distance. Then they are ready to fight, ready to escape like that. So sensory level, I think animal is I think more stronger. This brain is something very unique. We are not using properly this brain. This wonderful brain become slave of destructive emotion. That's the worst thing. That's my view. So as I mentioned earlier, you see now time come. We should think seriously how to introduce our secular education field. Not religious matter, but strictly secular way. According to Indian understanding, secular means respect all religions, including non-believer. That is something very relevant in today's world. In the West, sometimes you say, some of my friends used to consider secular is something negative towards religion. I think that's one view. But according to India, India's constitution itself, you see, based on secularism. So, naturally, according to Indian understanding, secular does not mean disrespect religion, but respect. And also respect non-believer. That's, I think, something very practical, very realistic, like that. So, strictly through secular way, educate our inner value based on scientific finding and our own experience. Recent years, you see, some occasion, because in delay, recently, some occasion, some scientific meeting, some scientists say, through their sort of investigation or research, basic human nature is more compassionate. So they mentioned, you see, very, very young child, a few months old, language not yet developed. So to that child, show some cartoon, 2 children playing together with affection, smiling. When that cartoon shows that very, very young infant, and that shows that infant, I also saw that picture, infant smiling. Then another cartoon, 2 children, you see, a little bit negative attitude one another. When that shows that young, very, very young infant, like that. So they concluded basic human nature is more compassionate. Then more important, constant anger, hatred, fear experience, then our actual immune system reduces. So our biological factor, more compassionate mind, this element of the body becomes stronger. The more anger, fear, these elements become weak. So our conclusion, basic human nature is more compassionate. So that gives us real hope. There is sound basis about warm-heartedness. On that base, our intelligence should utilize to support that basic human nature, more compassion utilize. Not relying on God or hell or heaven, these things. Even when I give a talk, never sort of take quotation of Buddha's sort of message. Simply our common sense, common experience, and scientific findings. So now, in America, at least I think around 10 cities already have the name of City of Kindness, City of Compassion. City Chikasa, Ka, Ka, Anaheim, Ka, Ka. So these two cities, they, at least I know, they already have the name of City of Compassion or City of Kindness. So now, June, I will be in America, about 2 weeks. So one meeting, about 200 cities mayor, because annual sort of meeting, right? Annual meeting, so annual meeting. So they sort of send a sort of invitation. I will go there. So these are, I think, hopeful signs. And then American, some scientists like Richard Davidson and some others, and also some professors in Emory University. Now we have some kind of group. Of course, we now fully sort of concentrate how to promote through education the warm-heartedness. So this is, I think, only hope. The later part of this 21st century can be more compassionate world, then automatically peaceful world automatically come. Less corruption, less gap. If present sort of way of life, way of thinking, with the present sort of system of education, then I think this 21st century also almost certain become century similar of 20th century. A lot of killing. I think present very unhappy situation, killing, starvation, or corruptions. I think these, I feel, symptom of past century, 20th century's mistake or negligence. I just saw, because of that, I think yesterday, the French president and German chancellor, they met. This is some kind of centenary way. Or one place, is the First World War, I think few 100,000 soldiers killed. So recently, your president visited Hiroshima or Nagasaki. I think these are very good. Sure. I think the genuine sort of spirit of forgiveness. During wartime, you see, killing. But that's past. Now, let us sort of be friends and work together, live together. I think that spirit, I think very good. So European countries, I think maybe through education and wider contact, I think these thinking more advanced than Arab countries in Africa. I think due to lack of because of wider contact and education. So like this Muslim what called kasa I kasa. Now these through violence, very difficult to reduce these things. Through talk, through human way, try to create sense of brotherhood, sisterhood. They also human brothers, sisters. I think in India, Indian Muslim, hardly is no problem between Sunni and Shia in this country. And Hindus, Muslim, Christian, Jews, and Zoroastrian, Parsi community, very small, less than 100,000 in Bombay. But no fear, very safe. They are very minority in big city like Bombay, but no fear. So I think India, so you see, therefore, Indian Muslims, from their birth, you see, they already connected with other sort of believer. So I also used to notice Malaysian Muslim and the Indonesian Muslim. Because you see, in Malaysia, large number of Chinese community, mainly businessmen or women, and then also Indian, as Hindus. So they take for granted there are different religious tradition. Whereas in Arab, it's less contact with other nations. So a little bit sort of at the concept of one truth, one religion, there's something very strong. So nothing, I think, wrong with Islam. Islam wonderful. But you see, due to lack of the contact, wider contact, wider awareness, then these problems, you see, happen. So we have to try to reach out these people who's thinking a little bit isolated way. That's my view. Recently, in this very room, I met some group of African, different African, 15 different countries of Africa, and some Arab countries also, all Muslim, mainly Muslim. Come here, we talk. And I very much impressed with some of these young African. You see, the very moment some explosions, or bombing, you see, very moment of that kind of situation, they develop, now we must make some effort, you see, to promote, harmony and peace. So I really admired some of the young Africans. Under such circumstances, you see, they determined to do something for peace. So each of them, you see, created a small sort of organization or group like that. Wonderful. So things seems to see some seed now coming. And then also, one time I was in Israel. I met a small group, some Jewish people, some Palestine. They create small group for the understanding, closer friendship. So I told them, you see, no matter how small, but this is seed. So you must with full confidence, your work is wonderful. It is really necessary in that area. Now, since 1948, now Palestine and Israeli problem still, you see, remain there. So sooner or later, we have to find external force cannot do that. Within their own community, such as this small group, you see, it is something very very important, like that. So, then next question.
Hello, Your Holiness. My name is Maria. Something that was really difficult for me to see when coming to India was the enormous amount of poverty, and in particular, children begging. While my heart goes out to them, I am also aware that I am not able to help all of these individuals. I would like to know, how can we balance our compassion for others with our inability to provide for all of their needs?
감사. 의주 주시에. 아니? 들어봐. 뜻들이. It's very true. This country, I think there, I often you see teasing with Indian. India, basically very religious-minded nation, isn't it? But sometimes you see, I feel some big contradiction. Each family is, I think there are some statue of God, or Shivaji, or Saraswati, like that. Then I think many rich sort of family, you see, in their house, you see, in their room, some sort of God statue like that. And then every morning some flower, some incense, and put put in front of them, like that. And then some prayer. So it looks, they praying to God to success my corrupted life. If you are really religious-minded people, then you should be honest, truthful, and compassionate, isn't it? So like China, you see, the government policy so far, you see, deliberately trying to remain atheism like that. So that's understandable. But India, very religious-minded, but a lot of sort of corruptions. I think India's economy, if I think properly utilized, and also the bureaucratic system, that also creates some problems. So therefore, work, I think every day sort of work becoming something goes very slow way because of the bureaucratic sort of system like that. So India, I think, not only India, in Europe, Africa, Latin America, and now China also, with the name of socialism, and led by Communist Party, the communist ideology, original Marxism, I think talking about the well-being of working class people, no discrimination, equal distribution. So as far as socio-economy theory is concerned, I am Marxist. I really admire the original Marxist sort of concept. But then that wonderful concept spoiled by Lenin. Bolshevik revolution during wartime, and also a lot of civil war. So the wartime mentality is secrecy, suppression, merciless sort of tight control, and centralized. That's during wartime, that kind of system is relevant. So that wartime mentality become part of their whole system. Then former Soviet Union go that way. China also isn't going that way. Otherwise, the Marxism, original Marxism, I think wonderful. So it's a communism. See, think about working class people. Working class people, majority, and then also needy people, less privileged people. So it's a right fight for right to these people. That means right for majority. So in any way, I think corruption also, I think, the major factor. So then, individual, sometimes I also feel when I thinking about humanity, there are a lot of problems. Then sometimes they discourage oneself. But then this sort of, the problem, whether there is a way to overcome this problem, that I already mentioned. You see, analytical meditation, yes, with scientific sort of finding, yes, basic human nature is positive. So there is possibility through education. Then, who started these thinking? From individual. Change the mental attitude of the community or society, finally a whole world. Start from individual. Individual feel incapable way, helpless. Then who will start this work? United Nations? No. United States government? No. European Union? No. Indian government? No. So then we, as an individual human being, start work, effort. I'm thinking that way. Then I'm one of the 7 human beings. On my own level, I have to work. Whether success or not, different question. We have to make effort. In my own case, I'm not expecting some good things materialize within my lifetime. No. I'm now already 81. So next 10 years, 91. Then ready to say goodbye. So I'm not expecting some positive result materialize within my lifetime. No. But so really worthwhile, our responsibility. Start this work, make effort. So sometimes I think I want to share with you, sometimes I'm talking, when I meet young people, the generation of 20th century and generation of 21st century. So my generation and also you, generation of 20th century. Now our century already gone. So the generation of 20th century now we're ready to say goodbye. And we, generation of 20th century, I think create a lot of problem. Now these problems have to solve by generation of 21st century. Now these young people, you are the generation of 21st century. So people whose age below 30, 20, you are true generation of the 21st century. Now, you have to find ways and means to reduce this problem, which 20th century generation created, I feel. So sometimes I jokingly say telling, see, if you start work now, from now, within this century, later part of 20th century, can be different century. So at that time, whether I may be in heaven or hell, according to Christian sort of belief. Even you see, even I will be in Kasajuri, hell. Certainly I get some sort of permission to visit world. So then I will come, see world, the 21st century generation, whether they really seriously are making better world or not. If you work properly and making better world, then when I return to hell, I will report the concern to sort of hell, because of the sentient being of the concern to hell. Now, the Kasuda, the area of hell can reduce, because you see, the new generation of the world now, they are really doing very good thing. So you see, you can reduce the area or the area of the hell. If on the other hand, still these young people still carry so destructive way, a lot of violence, a lot of corruption, a lot of bully, a lot of cheating, then I will report, oh, hell should expand. So like that. Now I think really my generation's hope is on your shoulder. You are young, getting, I think, every month new experience. Then think more realistic, more wisely. You have, I think, opportunity create better world like that. So, thank you. So, I want to express my special greetings or welcome, because suppose I am honorary professor of your university. When I got that honorary degree, I told, I feel great honor, but at the same time, actually, reality, I'm hopeless professor. Because you see, firstly, I have no time to homework, and secondly, I'm lazy. Thank you.